in Chinatown. We're a nonprofit. We've been around since 1971, and we serve mostly the immigrant community. I'll give a quick overview for the Chinatown Service Center if you're not familiar. We have 4 offices. Our main office is in Chinatown. We also have 2 in Monterey Park, 1 in St. Gabriel, and 1 in Hamburg. We have a variety of services. One of our main services is our social services. We help seniors and people in the community with applying for food stamp, translation of materials and letters. We also help with our youth. We provide after-school program, tutoring, and SAT prep on Saturdays. We also have a volunteer income tax program. So during the tax season, from January to about March, we provide free tax filing for low-income communities. We also have our small business program. So we help folks who are existing business owner, so say in Chinatown or around the area, support their local businesses. And we also do classes to teach people how to start business as a way to build income, or if you can't find a job, you want to start a business, we have workshops and classes focused on small business. And we also finally have a community health center. This is most of our 4 offices are focused around community health, so we have a medical, dental, and we're all opening a optometrist, eye doctor in our Chinatown office. We also have behavioral health for mental health issues, and there are a variety of offices. But today, Joy's going to talk about our financial asset program and our new program that focus on helping families build credit and help with their financial needs.
So we have a new program called Financial EEP, Economic what is it called? Economic Empowerment Program. Thank you. So our Economic Empowerment Program is really for parents so that they can build up their financial stability so that their kids won't have to worry about anything, and parents won't have as many stresses in their life. So we provide free workshops. We're going to be doing workshops here in Nightingale as well, and we also provide one-on-one individualized case management services. So you can work one-on-one with us as many times as you'd like in order to tackle your financial problems. So if you have any issues with your credit, if you want to build up your credit score, or if you need help understanding your credit report, we can help you with that. We can help you reduce your debt, build up your savings, and learn how to budget. So we also are able to refer you to special savings programs. We have a program that's called Saver Life, where you can link your bank account to it, and if you save $20 a month, you can get $10 from this program. And it's a 6-month program, so you'd be able to get $60 from it. And then there are other nonprofits that provide like an additional bonus if you do this $20 savings. So one nonprofit provides an additional $20 for that $20 that you save. So every time you save $10 or $20, you can get up to $40 a month from the Saver Life program. So we can help you connect to these kinds of services if you want to work with us one-on-one.
And we offer languages in Chinese, Vietnamese, and Spanish as well.
Yeah. So we have a new case manager, and she'll be able to provide workshops and case management services in Spanish.
Okay.
Thank you. That's it.
Any questions?
Yes.
So would you be able to direct us, since it's financial planning, for college saving plans? And
We
how
can
not
help
to
you
get
with the
taxed
529s.
if they don't go to college?
We can provide you with information on that, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
One more.
Yes.
The data that you collect from your clients, does it go anywhere?
No, we keep it and it's confidential.
For a person that doesn't have a social security number, can you help like build a credit for her?
Yes, we can still help you. Yes.
What is the, I guess, financial income to qualify, or you automatically qualify? What's the qualifications to get into your programs versus?
You automatically qualify if you need financial assistance. For our VITA program, which Stanley mentioned, that's the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. It's free for parents and families that make under $54,000. So if you make under that much, you can get free tax preparation services.
And for the financial planning, the same thing, financial planning, is it the same thing, you have to make under a certain amount of money? It's just, okay, just
Yeah.
financial planning for everybody?
Anyone that needs assistance, we can help.
And does that also apply to the savings programs?
Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
Can you also educate us a little bit, I'm not sure about trusts, because that's also savings for education for the future. Do you also do stuff like that to educate with those kinds of documents?
No, we mainly do like personal finance, like savings, budgeting, building up credit, and reducing debt. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So let me get to the front. So thank you for all being. Oh, so I guess the camera's. Can you set it up so we can move the camera this way? Can you move it this way? Because I don't want he's gonna set up the computer. So good morning. Thank you for being here. Thank you at home. As you know, we're live streaming our coffee with the principals because we want to improve communication to the community. So we know that not every parent can make it to school in the morning because of work or other responsibilities, but we know that that does not mean that they don't want to be involved. So I want you to know that we honor people's time, and that's why for us, we're going to continue doing this. We started last year. We're going to continue doing this, and we're going to continue to improve it, because ultimately we want to make sure that we're able to communicate to the community and all stakeholders of what it is that we're doing here. We also want to have their input, because we want to get better, because we're here to serve. But ultimately, in order for us to get that feedback, there needs to be a level of communication. They need to know what we're doing here, so therefore they can give us some informed feedback. So then hopefully we could also be held accountable, because again, we're committed to getting better. Okay, so I'm glad to see that all of you are enjoying our new renovated parent center. So it's only a couple of months behind schedule, but ultimately, luckily, it's here and ready. We're hoping that we see as many people on a regular day than we do today. Okay, so I'm grateful for that. Did everybody sign in? So Leslie? So can we make sure that we get the sign in, please? Because what we're going to be doing, we're also going to be doing a raffle. Okay, so we're going to be doing, those of you that have been coming know that we like to give some scratchers, okay, lottery tickets. We also have some vouchers for some art lessons for a art studio in South Pasadena that we got, that we want to donate to you. And so we're raffling off to, again, I mean, when you come, we want it to be meaningful to you. We want you to get something out of it. And again, if you happen to win a scratcher, I just want to remind you that 50% goes back to the school. Okay? So we're going to begin.
We also have 4 tickets to Knott's Berry Farm, courtesy of the Boys and Girls.
Oh, and 4 tickets to Knott's Berry Farm, courtesy of the Boys and Girls Club. Okay? So again, we know parents at home can't be here, but if you happen to be here, we're going to use some of these incentives to help motivate you to participate. Okay? So any questions for me so far?
No.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead. Well, I think you're new, sir. Mr. Meza. Pleasure, nice to meet you. So we tend not to have many fathers or father figures here, so I want to welcome you. We definitely want to motivate and encourage more fathers to participate. And not just fathers, but father figures. We know some of our sons and daughters grew up in different types of homes where the father figure might be a grandfather or an older brother, and we know what influence they could have on our kids. So it's important that even though historically they tend not to participate in these kind of activities, we do want to welcome them. Because again, it's important that we work together. It definitely takes a village to raise a child. Okay? So we're going to begin. So by the show of hands, how many guests do we have, first time visitors to Nightingale or Coffee with the Principal? Show of hands. 1, 2, no, that's not true. The baby probably. So it's 1, again, I want to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. So let's give them a big round of applause, please. We want to pull up. Again, thank you for being here. I want you to know that we welcome you. We want you to continue coming whenever possible for you. If you're able to volunteer with us, please do so. Again, even if it's 1 hour a month, you know, even if it's in the morning, let's say you're able to bring your son or daughter to school and you have maybe 30 minutes before you go into work, if you want to volunteer with the valet, you know, whatever it is that you can do, I want you to know that we appreciate it. We're never going to say, oh, you can only come 30 minutes. No. Whatever you can do to volunteer, please, 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 I appreciate it. So thank you. Okay? So we're going to begin. So if you were here last time, we actually talked about norms for collaboration. Okay? So anytime that a group comes together and is working, because I think this is still a work group, because we do want you at the end to sort of give feedback and have a discussion about anything that you might feel is important. We have norms for collaboration. This is how, as a group, we've agreed that this is how we're going to get along and ensure that the work moves forward. So the first one is respect time. So I know we started at 9 o'clock. We were setting up the camera. So the goal is that we always start on time. And we sort of have an end time, but if parents want to continue having a conversation, we definitely will continue talking. Okay? We want to make sure that we have clear expectations. The point of this meeting here is for me to sort of share with you some of the things that are going on our campus, to give you guys updates, and also giving you guys an opportunity to share with me any concerns. Okay? Team player, we all have to work together. Okay? There's no I in team. We as a school cannot do it alone. You as parents cannot do it alone. We do need to work together. You know, even I say to my staff, when everybody does a little, nobody does a lot. As a principal, I can't do it alone. Teachers can't do it alone. The counselors can't do it alone. Everybody plays a vital role. The custodians play a big role in our school. The office people play a big role. Kathy, Ms. Gwen, our technology coordinator, plays a big role in what we do here. So everybody is part of a team. Okay? And again, for us, the focus is students. We should always go back to what's best for students and how we can make it better for them. Not for me, not for the custodians, not for the teachers. It's how can we make it better for the students. Okay? And also conflict resolution, where if people feel that there's a conflict arises, we need a way of communicating. Okay? We always should respect each other's opinions. Okay? You can have different opinions. It doesn't mean we can't get along. We could just agree to disagree, but always with respect. Okay? If it ever comes to a point where there's a disagreement where you feel that maybe the conversation went too far, I think it's important that we have a way of. Can I take this screen? I think there's a way for us to communicate that. Okay? Any questions about the expectations so far? Again, I want you to know this is what we have because it's important that we work together. And the last one is effective communication. Okay, it is important that we're able to communicate and share our ideas. Okay, so this is actually what we have for teachers when we meet as a school, and also when we meet as instructional leadership team. Okay, every one of our 4 schools actually has their own different types of rules or norms. Okay, and of course, ask questions. So I shared this information with some of you last time, but I want to review it with you in terms of our enrollment. Okay? So back in 2011, 2012, we had about 1,082 students. Okay? Then the next year, we went down to 930. Then 2013, 2014, 815. Then in 2014, 2015, we were down to 716. So as you can see, in 4 years, we went down more than 300 students. Okay? So definitely that was a big drop. This is the year that I started, okay, with Mr. Gaeta as a principal, actually with Mr. Gonzalez, who hired me. But this year, 2013, 2014, the teachers and the staff that was here decided that they needed to do something different. And I think that's when they began the plan for the first magnet, the BET magnet, the Business Entrepreneurship and Technology. Okay? Then, the last couple of years, we've actually increased in enrollments. Last year we began at 757. We ended the year at 800. We were projected this year to be at 880, but I just ran the report today, we're at 890. So this is what was at the beginning of the year. So at the end of the year, we ended up at 800. Now we're at 890. So from one year to the next, we grew 90 students. Okay? So I think there's many reasons, I think, why that could have been. I think one of the biggest reasons that collectively as staff we talked about was because of our programs that we have now. Okay? So we have 4 programs now, if you know, 4 pathways. BET was the first magnet. Then the 2 years after that was the STEM magnet. And this year, we opened up the new MHK magnet and the Visual Performing Arts Academy. So we have 3 magnet schools and 1 academy. Okay? So all of the 4 schools, again, focus on interdisciplinary, project-based learning. So what does that mean? That means the 4 disciplines are English, math, history, and science. Those are the 4 core disciplines. So what happens is that in each one of the pathways, there's a focus. So one is business, science and math, medicine and kinesiology, and visual performing arts. So the 4 core classes, the 4 classes, they teach to the grade level standards, but when they present a lesson, they present it through the lens of each one of their schools. Okay? And each one of their schools has 1 elective that supports the work. So for example, this year, MHK, which is the smallest magnet, it actually began this year, but it only has 6th and 7th graders. Okay? And we actually have 1 elective teacher, Mr. Reyes. So Mr. Reyes is actually the elective teacher for medicine and for STEM, because those are the smallest programs. Okay? For VAPA, which is one of our largest programs, we have Mr. Talamante, which is our new film teacher. We have Mr. Poole, which is our new drama teacher. We have Ms. Makana, which is a music teacher. We have Ms. Wyman, which is an art teacher. Okay? Some of those electives are also able to be accessed by students that are in the magnets. So that's why they have more. Okay? So again, we think for us, one of the reasons why students are coming back is because of the 4 programs. But I want you to know that we still are committed because we know they have to get better. Okay? So even though we've made some improvements in the programs and enrollment, we're not satisfied. We're continuing to work to get better. And I'm going to share with you towards the end the cycle that we have for improvement. Because we're looking at data so we can improve and we can know if the improvements that we want to make are actually happening on our campus. Okay? Any questions about the 4 programs that we have? Okay? So this is actually the enrollment that I was talking to you about earlier, broken down by schools. So we have VAPA, we have BET, STEM, MHK. SDP, it stands for students with an IEP, students with disability. Okay? And this is not RSP. RSP is considered general ed students. Okay? So that's why we're at 889. And I ran it this morning right before I came over here. Okay? So as a result, so just so you know, and I'm going to explain to you the next slide, staffing. So staffing is not decided as a whole school. It's actually broken down into 4 schools. So every one of our schools is designated a certain amount of teachers. Okay? So for example, for us, where we actually showed the greatest growth is actually in VAPA. Therefore, for staffing, we're going to hire one VAPA teacher. Okay? And that teacher is going to be an elective teacher, which is going to be servicing students in all of our pathways. Okay? What we actually are going to be doing is, like I mentioned to you before, we have 2 elective teachers that are brand new this year. Mr. Telemante, which is a film, and Mr. Poole, which is a drama. Okay? Those are part-time teachers now because we were able to grow a position. We're hoping to break that position up into 2 halves and bring in those 2 people full-time. Okay? So that's the goal. Along with those elective teachers, just so you know, we also qualified and actually were granted 2 grants, $200,000 each because of our arts program. Okay? So that we're going to be remodeling the auditorium. We're going to be putting more lighting. We're going to be utilizing, you know, when you put on a play, the backdrops. We're going to be utilizing a lot of money for that because we want the auditorium to be capable of really hosting a big production. So that's the goal. Okay? We also got a grant. We're also using some of that grant for our business magnet. Okay? The goal next year is that we apply for the grant for all of our pathways. So hopefully we're able to get $200,000 for each one of our schools. Okay? We are losing 1 special education teacher. Okay? So like I shared with you before, the norming, that they allocate positions based on schools. SDP, which is special ed, is different. Okay? They have their own numbers that they look by, and they actually allocate a certain amount of teachers. So we are losing 1 special education teacher, and it's going to be finalized today. Okay? So once I communicate that to the teacher, then we can communicate that to all the stakeholders. Okay? Any question about the staffing? Yes?
Why are we using the special education teacher?
Because we actually, with the special ed program, the numbers that were projected for us to have didn't meet that number. So it's actually more so for the resource program. So resource program, we have 3 resource teachers. Okay? The kids that actually receive resource programs, we don't have enough to that requires us to have 3. So we have to lose 1.
That answers my second question. How is this going to affect the program of the children who need help?
So what's going to happen is that though the kids that are receiving resource now are going to be divided up into 2 teachers. And then what's going to happen is that there's actually state law allows resource teachers to have a caseload of 24 to 28. Right now we're at 61. Okay, so if you do 28 times 2 is 56. So therefore we have 5 other students that are going to be getting serviced by somebody from the district that's going to be coming to support us. So therefore what ends up happening is that all the teachers, when it comes to losing a teacher, they all are grouped together by credential. So then we look at credential, and then that's when the decision is going to be made today about who's going to have to leave Nightingale.
So with the changes that they're coming from 24 to 28, how is it currently at right now? How many students are per class with the teachers you guys have?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
You said that there's going to be changes. It's going to be the 24 to 28 students per teacher, right?
That's for RSP, yes.
And so right now, where is that? What is the current status?
20.
So it's 20.
20.5. So that's why if we would have 12 more students, then we would be able to keep the 3rd RSP teacher, but we don't even, according to the district, we're not even close.
Is this going to make a big impact for the students?
No, because again, the ratio is what it should be because the RSP program, they have a RSP teacher and also an RSP assistant that actually goes into the classroom and supports them.
Also, they have assistants as well.
Yes. Yeah. Okay? Yes.
A question, out of the 4 programs, which ones, is it all just the resident school, or is it all, some of them for I guess, tested magnets or gifted, or
I'm not sure what you, I'm not.
like the gifted program? Is there any children or in certain, one of the programs that are gifted, or are there
Yes, so-
a section of gifted, or?
So we have students that are STEM. The STEM magnet is actually a high ability gifted magnet. So in order for you to qualify for this magnet, you have to be identified as gifted. We do have some kids that are gifted in BET, and we also do have some kids that are gifted in BAPA. So we have pretty much, actually we also have gifted kids in MHK. We have kids gifted in all of our programs, but the ones that requires you to be gifted is STEM. Okay? But again, a parent can choose any one of the programs. It's up to them. If you're gifted, you don't have to go to STEM. Okay? Any other questions regarding the staffing? Yes.
I have a question. My kids are in ITEC program, so is that going to affect for the listening teacher?
No. So the IDIC program is a totally different program, but your kids do a couple of periods during the day, are in general ed classes with electives, so it wouldn't affect them.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Any other question regarding staffing? So let me explain to you also in terms of technology. At Nightingale, we are committed to improving how we use technology and a number of devices. So we actually just ordered 100, actually it went up to 160 Chromebooks today. Okay? So what we're doing, the goal is to get to the point where we have, now that we have 890 students, we want to make sure that we have about 890 devices. The goal is that every student in every classroom has access to a computer. Okay? So we're using Chromebooks because a lot of our teachers require like Google Docs. So the Chromebooks allows you to upload it to Google Docs. All of our kids actually have a Google Docs account. And we're going to be, in future Coffee with the Principals, you're going to be seeing what the 8th graders are going to do in terms of the 8th portfolio defense. That was something that was started with STEM, but this year, all of our pathways, all of our schools are going to be doing the 8th grade portfolio defense. Okay? So any questions regarding technology? Yes?
So for your goal of the one-to-one device, is that for their use here at school, or are you implementing where they're going to be checking it out and be able to take it home?
We can't check it out.
No.
No. That was a separate program that was started by the district, I think maybe about 5 years ago, but then I think it stopped about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, I think when the superintendent left. But for us, ultimately, I'm actually trying to work with some nonprofits that actually are able to come to the school, and if they provide some training to parents, can actually give you a desktop computer with internet access. So that's the goal. I mean, I think also having the kids carry the computers, laptops home with them. You know, some of our kids get on public transportation. Some of our kids, you know, walk through some areas that are not always the most pleasant. If people find out that our kids have a computer on their backpack, then that might open our kids to maybe some interactions that might not be very safe. So I think that's why for us is we want to have computers on our campus where all the kids have access to them in every period, and hopefully we'll get some support with nonprofits that we work with homes that might need some support when getting technology at home. Okay? Again, any questions regarding technology? So we just recently actually partnered up with the Dodgers. So if you know Mr. Dusan, which is our PSW, psychiatric social worker, does a great job of really building relationship with different organizations. So we're actually going to partner up with the Dodgers, and we're actually going to be renovating the grass field. So you know the grass field in the back? So we're actually going to be renovating the grass. We're going to be putting lines. We're going to be actually updating the goalpost. We're going to be adding some murals. And again, it's the goal for us to have a better space for our kids to utilize for sports. And you know, for us at Nightingale, we have a lot of traditions when it comes to athletics. Okay, that's one of the reasons why one of our magnets emphasize athletics and kinesiology. And we want to make sure that we actually have a space for the kids to really thrive and excel when it comes to athletics. Okay, so the goal is actually, completion by November. So actually, I just got off the phone with Mr. Dusan. The school is going to be getting the donation check of $30,000, and then we're going to be paying the district for the services. Okay, so it's exciting because again, we're going to have a sort of a, once it's completed, we're going to have the Dodgers come out, they're going to do some clinics, and we're going to invite the community members to participate in it. Yes.
So the district gets the money, so do they take bids, or they just go with who they go with?
So we get the money, the check gets deposited to the school's budget, where it's called the school's donation account, where the principal can use as his or her discretion. So we have allocated that money for this field. We already worked with the district, because we were going to actually go out and get bids, and they said we can work with you, we're going to get the cheapest deal for you. So they did it right under $30,000. Right under. Of course.
So,
Good.
I have not been up there, so I apologize. So there's currently grass, are you just gonna renovate or not?
We're gonna level it. Artificial costs almost $1 million.
No, I don't like artificial.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, I just didn't know what you were.
Yeah, so we're gonna level it. We're gonna improve the irrigation system. We're gonna put new sod. We're gonna update the goalpost. We're gonna do some murals on the side. They're gonna update the water fountain, a whole bunch of other things on that space, so they can make it nicer and more attractive for the students.
Are you gonna put a track also?
No.
No.
So actually, if we would add a track, it would also exceed the cost. And then also, because of the space, the grass is gonna be right next to the track. So whenever it gets wet, then the track leads down to the grass. And they just said if we would have a bigger space, then we might be able to have a track, but we would have to have a separation between the track and the grass, and the space doesn't allow for that. It's a good space, but the track would take out maybe a 10 on each side. So they would really sort of shorten the playing field. Okay? Any other question regarding? Yes?
Is the change going to be mainly for cosmetics, or is this something that the students are going to be able to enjoy, like rhythm, play, or something like that?
Yeah, so I mean, so again, we have also intramural sports. So we have competitions during homeroom, so during lunch. So we just started that at the end of last year. We want kids during lunch to be more active. So we actually have kids actually designated by homeroom. So they compete throughout the year in homeroom challenges. So for example, last year we were able to do basketball and volleyball. So the kids play during homeroom. It's like a regular season. Then we have playoffs, and then we actually get a winner, and we give them a trophy. We took the pictures. There's actually a plaque that we're going to be putting up there, so it can hopefully be up there forever. But it's about competition. It's about getting kids active. So one of the reasons we also want to do soccer, and the soccer, the grass field, there's a lot of holes, so we don't want kids to twist their ankles and get hurt. So that's why we're leveling off the grass field so we can utilize it for that, and for also for PE. So I think, thank you. Okay, so one thing that I want to share with you, and I think I might have shared with you before, that on Friday, we actually have all the elementary principals that are in this community are going to visit Nightingale. So they're going to be here on Friday from 8:30 to 12:30. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to showcase the work we are doing here. Okay, we want to show them what we're doing, but also I think it's not only a way to build a relationship, but also what we have is that we're looking for other educators in elementary to come to us and give us feedback. You know, for me, relationships are really important. So if we're able to have strong relationships with the feeder elementaries, where the principals, and not only the principals, it's also going to be their parent representatives. So the parent reps of each school and the principal is going to come. We're going to showcase what we're doing. We're going to visit classrooms. Ultimately, we want to get feedback, but they also, as you know, many elementaries are also struggling with low enrollment. So a lot of the nearby elementaries are down enrollment, just the way, like, you remember when I showed you the dip for us? You know, but the last couple of years we actually showed the gains in terms of enrollment gains. A lot of elementaries haven't grown. So elementaries are also looking to do things differently. So they said, okay, what are you guys doing in Nightingale why you think that you guys are increasing enrollment? So for us, it's our 4 programs, our 4 pathways. And part of our pathways, I told you, is interdisciplinary project-based learning. We're also a linked learning school. So what is happening is that linked learning actually began in high school. We began with linked learning here at Antigua last year, and we were the first of 5 or 6 middle school that actually did linked learning. So now that program is growing in middle school, but the ultimate goal is to have those programs also in elementary. So for example, let's say your son or daughter is interested in business, or in the arts, or in science, and you know that at an early age. You can choose an elementary that has that as an emphasis. And so let's say you go to an elementary that has business as an emphasis. And so they start learning about business in elementary, and then they go, ultimately, you would choose a middle school that has the same emphasis, or the same pathway. And then after middle school, then you go to a high school that has the same pathway. So as you can see, it's articulation. So that's what we actually are looking to do, and that's what for us has been an emphasis. So one of the reasons why they're actually going to come in is not only to give us feedback, but they're also going to want to get ideas. So at the end of in the afternoon session, from 11 to 12, the elementary principals are going to sit down and they're going to brainstorm. What are some things that maybe we might want to take back and start at our schools? And it doesn't have to be part of our 4 pathways. They can choose other pathways. But we want to at least have the opportunity for them to have a dialogue, and we want to be there for as a resource. So we want them to pick our brains, because again, for us, it didn't happen 1 year to the next. You know, for us, it really has been about a 5-year evolution. Okay, so we also are bringing people from the linked learning office, and they're going to be talking to them. So the goal is that the elementary principals, first of all, we build those relationships. They see what we're doing here. Then they might have some ideas, and they might want to take it back to their school, and they might want to reinvent their stuff just the way we have. Ultimately, with the goal is, again, they want kids back, you know, but the only way they're going to get kids back if they are able to provide something meaningful that the charter schools are not providing. Because where are kids going? Most of them to charter schools. Question?
Do you think that was the reason there was a big dip, because the charter schools came in and then parents realized maybe it wasn't a great choice, and then they also came back to the residents?
I mean, I think for us, we do think that charter school has something to do with it. But I think just from talking to people who were here before I was, right when it started dipping, when I showed you the numbers, is that for them, I guess, they didn't think the dip was going to be so drastic. They said, oh, we'll lose a couple, but then after 3 years, they lost almost 300 students. Then what ended up happening is that when you have less students, then you have less resources or less staffing. So then there started to be a dip. So that's why for us, there was a plan to do the magnet. And then since I've been here, it's like every year we've been planning for something different. So now we have 4 pathways. We're not going to change those. We might modify them a little bit. You know, I know I have some dual language parents here. There is conversation about having dual language be part of one of the magnets. And we're in conversations with that right now with the district. But that might be the only sort of change right now. We have 4 pathways, and we just want to get them better. Okay? So for us, also we're going to be attending magnet fairs. I know, just so you know, as parents, those of you that are 8th grade parents, there's magnet fairs that are coming up. There's for the Franklin, for local district central. There's a magnet fair on Thursday. For local district east, there's a magnet fair on Saturday, the 22nd. So what I can do is I want to make sure I give you all that information. So before you leave, we're going to give you that information. It's important that you go to the magnet fairs so you learn what are some of the options that are out there for high school. Because the window actually opens earlier this year than it did in the past. This year the window opens in October. So it's important for you, if you have students that are in 8th grade, that you know where the kids are, where you want your kids to go, and make sure they apply on time. Okay? Any questions for that? So we're buying tablecloths, banners. We're going to get a new marquee, but a marquee is a work in process. So we're hoping, we got the money allocated for that already. We're having meetings, initial meetings with the district to come and actually set up the marquee. We have a marquee in the corner that we're actually hoping to renovate. It's no longer going to work as a marquee because it's too old. We're just going to reface it. We're going to put a new logo. And then we're going to put a new marquee actually on the building. Okay, if we would put a marquee where the old one is, it's about $150,000. So the marquee, for us to put it actually on the wall, is more like $50,000. So for us, it makes more sense to spend the money and allocate the money for the new marquee on the wall, and then just we're going to reface the old one. Okay. Yes?
I have a question going back to what you were talking about,
Oh.
the enrollment beginning in October. So, once our children are enrolled here, is it going to be an every year process that needs to be done over again?
No.
I'm not.
No, once you're enrolled here, it's when you go to the high school. Or, again, if you have, like we have 4 programs, if you have a student in MHK, then you say, you know what, I actually want them to be in BET, or I want them to be in STEM, you have to apply.
Do the
Yes.
choices, right?
Yes.
That's what you're referring to.
Yeah. So if you want, even within, because remember, they're 4 distinct schools. So if you want to go from BET to STEM, BAP, put MHK, either way, you do have to apply. Okay?
Okay.
So we talked about the magnet fairs. So these are just some of the things that we actually purchased. So when you walk in, you see the big banner that's on in the entrance for the attendance. So we actually bought 5 of those. So we're gonna have these big banners for our schoolwide logo and each one of our pathways. So when we go out to the magnet fairs, okay, we want to have a presence, because ultimately, when we have more kids, we also get more resources. But I think also for us, we're excited about what we're doing. Again, we are looking to get better, and I'm going to go over that cycle that we have, okay? But we're committed to getting better, and we're committed to serve. But when you have more kids, then you're allocating more resources, okay? And not only that, not only do we want to bring them back, I think we want to communicate to them what it is that we're doing. Many of our community members don't know some of the changes that have gone on in Nightingale. They don't know Nightingale has 4 schools, has 4 pathways, is interdisciplinary project-based learning, has these grants, has these partnerships. So that's why we use the magnet fairs as a way of communicating that. Okay? So this is what for us is a cycle that we have. It's a cycle of continuous learning, continuous improvement. So we come up with a plan. Okay, we implement, we deliver the plan. We assess it by looking at data. And then we make changes that are necessary. So we're sort of taking this approach to a lot of things that we do. When it comes to, for example, those of you that are part of School Site Council, if you recall at the end of last year, School Site Council was asked to pay for 2 of our computer-based programs, Achieve 3000 and Alex for math. So those 2 programs combined, I think, were about $40,000. So one thing that we had a conversation during School Site Council was, how do we know that program is working? How do we know? So for us, we want to have a clear plan. So what we did this year, and actually even before we voted on it, we had all the English teachers come together and say, okay, these are some of the programs that we have. So we had the vendors actually come out and present to each one of the English teachers. They presented to the English teachers, and then the teachers discussed, okay, which of these programs are we going to use? Once they agreed to use Achieve 3000, then we came up with a clear plan for implementation. So they actually are using Achieve 3000 once a week. And actually, let me give you some of the research behind Achieve 3000. If the students complete what they call 80 activities on the computer-based program, with a completion rate of 75% or better the first time, there's drastic gains in Lexile level. So reading comprehension, the reading level. So therefore for us, we said, okay, if we're going to use that program, we need to have a clear plan, and we want all of our kids to meet that goal of 80 activities with 75% passage rate. So for us, the teachers agreed to actually use the plan once a week during the school day. So on one day out of the week, the teachers are using this so the kids can complete an activity in class. The teachers are running reports and working with different groups and giving students individual feedback. They are also asked to go home and do 1 activity for homework a week. So remember, each semester we have 20 weeks, right? So one semester we have 20, another semester we have 20, that's 40. If they're able to do 40 activities in class, plus 40 activities for homework a week, that's 80. So the goal is that if they complete the 80 activities, we should see increase in exile levels. So what we're going to be doing and what I committed to school site council is we're going to be, so we have a plan, we're delivering it now. How are we going to assess it? I'm going to be running reports every month, and then I'm going to be sharing it with school site council. I'm going to be sharing with school site council, are we meeting the goal that we set about implementation? And are our kids going to be on track to complete the 80? Because that's the goal. So what we're doing is we're having a clear plan, we're delivering it, and we're going to be assessing it every month, because ultimately we want to make changes if we need to, and then at the end, we want to see if it makes sense for us to spend this money or not. Because $40,000 is $40,000. That's a lot of money. So the teachers know that this is what we're committed to. So that's why we're committed to providing parents and the committee the reports on a monthly basis, so they know what it is and they see our progress. Okay? So again, we are taking this approach to everything that we do. Okay? We want to have a clear plan for discipline. We want to have a clear plan for, so let me give you an example, attendance. So if you were here early enough, you heard about the homeroom competition that we have for attendance. So all the homerooms kids, they chose the name for themselves. So what we're doing is we're actually running reports every week, and the first semester is regular season, like in a regular NBA season. So they compete against each other. We have winners every week, but then second semester we actually have the playoffs. And the reason why we did second semester playoffs is because our data showed that the second semester is when our attendance dropped. The first semester is pretty good. So the second semester, the attendance drops. So what we did is we did playoffs second semester. So the goal is that every month the kids compete in the second semester. So the top 8 homerooms are going to get a pizza party. Top 4, pizza party and an ice cream party. Top 2, pizza party, ice cream party, and something else. And I think that the winners, are going to get like a field trip. So again, I mean, we're just trying to incentivize it. I mean, we might think it's silly, but sometimes, I mean, you should see when we have ice cream parties, kids love it. You know, kids love pizza parties. So for us, it's about trying to incentivize it and trying to make it exciting for kids. A lot of kids like sports.
Ms. Hampton, please report to the main office. Ms. Hampton, please report to the main office.
So we're having a lot of incentives because, again, we want to motivate kids to do better. So this is just an example of how we're also doing that for attendance. So this is something that we're committed to doing for everything that we do on this campus. Okay? So I just want to review again with you what is the focus for this year. School-wide, SLOs, and actually we have Mrs. Drew is going to actually do a presentation with you about WASC. Okay, standards task alignment. So we want to make sure that the teachers are teaching and providing students a lesson that is at grade level and standards appropriate. We want to make sure that we're looking at data. So part of our PD plan is to review the data results from our SBAC scores and IABs, okay, for English and math and history and science. Okay, and again, we're going to be talking about the WASC goals in a second. We also have interdisciplinary teams, like I told you. Each one of our pathways there are 4 interdisciplinary teams. Part of those interdisciplinary teams are called PBLs, project-based learning. So there's lessons that the teachers are collectively completing and providing to the students based on the pathway. Okay, portfolio defense, I told you there's going to be more information that is going to be coming. That pretty much is going to be 8th graders in each one of our schools are going to do a defense of their learning over the last 3 years. So this is sort of, it's modeled after graduate courses when they actually have to do a defense of their graduate research. So what we actually are going to be asking our 8th graders to do, which we already did in one of the magnets, is the kids are going to come and starting in the 6th grade, they're actually collecting evidence, work samples of things that they've actually worked at throughout the years. In 8th grade, what they're going to do is they're going to show a work sample from 6th grade and a work sample from 8th grade, and they should be able to articulate and communicate where there's a growth. Because our kids should be getting better. From 6th grade to 8th grade, when it comes to writing specifically, there should be great improvements. So the kids are going to be sharing those kind of learnings to a panel of adults. They're also going to be showing some of their projects and also sort of one of their takeaways from their experience at Nightingale. Okay? CTIG grants, I told you that's about the grants that we received. 2 grants for $200,000. We also are going to be doing a lot of more school-wide events because we want to bring the community and the parents to be part of it. So for VAPA, for example, we're going to be doing on October 20th, we're going to be having a showcase where we're actually going to have, again, VAPA is the arts. We're going to have our music are going to be playing some music. We're going to have our drama class is going to be acting out some vignettes of some of the music that they're learning about. And the film class is actually going to create like a trailer, like a movie trailer for what they're learning. Because again, the unit for VAPA is remembrance. So if you probably should hear your students talk about remembering. So for us it's about we're here, and VAPA we're here, but we also want to remember where we came from. We want to remember our ancestors. We want to remember our culture. We want to make sure about who we are in terms of our identity. So that's sort of the emphasis for VAPA, and it's going to culminate with that activity on October 20th. And more information will be coming. Okay? And in terms of departments, this is the content. Pacing plans. They're administering assessments.
Cristel Sanchez, please report to the attendance office. Cristel Sanchez, please report to the attendance office.
We're doing interim assessments. We're doing, like I told you before, ELA and math. These are the computer programs that we have purchased. And we're also going to be doing more events by departments. Like potentially we're looking at doing maybe the math night, science night, things that we haven't done in the past that we're looking to do this year. Okay, anything else? Any questions for me? Are you sure? Okay, yes.
De la donación de Dodgers, ¿quiere decir que tiene que tener béisbol y softball o no importa?
Muska Banisai, please come to the attendance office. Muska Banisai, please come to the attendance office.
Por la donación que hizo Dodgers al campo, ¿van a tener softball y béisbol o no lo tienen planeado?
So softball, ya tenemos. We already have softball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we have softball, but they play on the blacktop. So it's really a great partnership because all they're asking us is to hold the clinic the day that we're going to unveil the grass, but nothing else. We don't have to put Dodgers anywhere. It's a really good donation.
So the clinic is just a baseball clinic, right?
Yes.
And it's open to all students?
So I think it's going to be for about 300 students.
So how do those students get picked?
I'm not sure because we haven't talked about that until we know when it's going to happen. So we're going to work out the details. I mean, for us, we want it to be random, Or if we say, you know what, if we have 4 schools, then we should have equal percentage from every school. So again, it's about trying to be equitable. Okay? Yes?
What is the Dodger clinic about?
Oh, so I know you probably weren't here. So let me go back.
Sorry.
That's okay. So we actually are partnering up with the Dodgers. So the Dodgers are actually going to be donating to us $30,000 to renovate the grass field.
I remember that.
Yeah, so we're going to be flattening the field, our irrigation system. We're going to be resodding, setting up the football. We're also going to be purchasing potentially some soccer goalposts. So for us to be able to we already use the grass field, but we want to make it better. Okay? So do you have any other questions?
¿Van a poner esto en el sitio web de la escuela?
Yes.
¿Cuándo?
By the end of today. Yeah. So it's going to be, we actually have a YouTube channel. Yes. So what's going to happen, if you actually go on our website, is it streaming live right now? So if you go on our website and you click on the link, it's streaming live right now. So we're going to record it and we're going to upload it to the website. So you can click on it and parents can review some of this information.
Okay, thank you.
Another question? Are you sure? I want you to know if you have questions that you might want to talk in private, please come see me anytime. It's really important that you know that not only in this venue, but you can come to my office anytime. You don't need an appointment.
Crystal Sanchez, please come to the attendance office. Crystal Sanchez, please come to the attendance office.
And I promise you next time, no more announcements. I promise you that. Yes.
I do have a question. There's a YouTube channel, so is it accessible through that?
Through what?
Right now, with streaming live, is that accessible through the YouTube channel, or is it?
Yes.
Okay. Like, not live right now, like, once this is over,
It's live right now.
and then after that, it will
Then it's
be
gonna be-
accessible
yes.
through the website,
Yes.
not through YouTube?
No. So for example, if you recall, those of you that were here last year, at the end of the year, we actually had SBAC Bowl, where we had a competition for testing, where we actually did a big event outside where we recruited students, and I walked out with a briefcase and handcuff. It's on the YouTube channel. I think it's still on the YouTube channel. So to sort of, it was like top secret who was going to be part of the teams for the competition. So when the kids actually competed, they actually competed in the auditorium, but all the kids were able to watch it in class live because we live streamed it. So the kids were actually being able to participate, following and answering the questions, because we did it live. Okay. So again, thank you for being. Actually, let's do the raffles.
Call the number and I'll go
So
by it.
actually, here, can you pass these out? The ones we want to see, whoever brought a guest gets the $2 ones. So, I'm sorry, yes? The sign
No
in?
number, we're doing it different.
The sign in. So what we're going to do is, who brought a guest today? Leslie.
Yes.
So she brought a guest, so she gets the $2 one. 3 rounds. Okay. Oh, we have another one. She brought a guest. She brought. Technically, it's a guest. We want more dads. I think next time, if you bring your husband, you get a $5 one. Yeah, I said next time. Okay. So there it is. Next time, if you bring your husband or your father figure, you get a $5 scratcher. Okay? Anybody else bring a guest? Okay.
The $1 one.
Okay.
Yeah, I can give them a
To find the guest, because it could be a child.
Not a child, an adult. An adult.
Clarify.
Sorry, yes.
Miss Hampton, please contact the main office. Miss Hampton, please contact the main office.
So again, so now, what are the numbers? 1 through what?
1 to 26.
Okay, so let's do number 1. Who's number 1?
I think I was the first one on the list.
Envy?
Yeah.
There you go. Let's do number 2.
Victoria Sanchez.
Let's do 21.
Carmen Ramirez.
Can you pass it down, please? You're welcome. Let's do number 23.
Diana Do.
Can you pass it down, please? Thank you. Let's do number 10.
Number 10. Ana Ojeda.
Can you pass it down, please? No? I'm almost done. And let's do number 13.
María Barojas. Mira, la vieron ahí.
Let's do number 17.
ISWBY. Velázquez. I mean, I'm sorry. I can't read his name.
Ortega? No.
Isabela. Oh.
Isabella here?
Wow. I don't know.
Okay, let's skip it.
Q. Con una Q.
Next time we're gonna printing.
Letra molde, por favor.
Okay, let's do number 25.
Fat, Aguilar, PHAT.
Okay.
Nice.
There you go. Thank you.
Oh, she didn't sign? Okay, so we have one through 28 then.
28. Can you pass that down? You're welcome. We want you to come back. Okay. Let's do number 4. Number 4.
Number 4 is Yolanda Garcia.
Thank you. Thank you. Did I give one? Did I give one to you already? No. I'm gonna give one to. I want more dads here. I don't want him to come back. I want him to come back.
If you want.
Okay. Let's do 2 more. Let's do number 9.
Sonia Guerra.
Last one. Let's do number 12. Let's do 12 already? 12?
Maria de Jesus Amaya. She didn't think she signed up.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, so I want to thank you for being here. I want you to know that we're here to serve. If you have any questions, any concerns, please come see us. It's important that we have communication. We can't do it alone. I know you can't. Well, you probably could, but we want to be part of it. Because again, we know that our kids, these times in terms of their ages, are really difficult because of what they're, not only are they changing and growing physically, okay, but they're also social-emotionally, and it's important that we work together because, you know, when your kids need help, we want you to know that we're here to help, okay? So thank you again. Any questions before I go?
Yeah, the other tickets.
Oh, the nuts! Oh, the nuts very far. 2 to 3. I'm so sorry.
I have an announcement about we are meeting parents
2 to 3.
who, if they want to be interested in the leadership council.
Can you come back with the tickets?
If you are interested, please take a sheet and self-nominate yourself. The elections will be next week. Local school leadership basically talks about school schedules, activities, fundraisers, all the good stuff. So if you guys are interested, please self-nominate yourself. We will have elections next week. Another one, I know I mentioned it already, but I want to remind you guys that this Saturday, we will be having a free bus to the school magnet fair. If you guys are interested, again, it is at Huntington Park High School. And the bus will be here at 8 a.m. for families. If you're interested, please come and take advantage of this. The bus will be free. The parking, you can park right in front of the school and jump on the bus with your family. I don't know if I let you know that the district, they gave us a bus for this Saturday for the magnet fair.
Oh, good. So we do want to make I want to make a quick announcement. If you heard a couple of weeks ago, there was a fire in the community where there was a family that lost their homes. And I believe a student in elementary actually lost her life. So she actually attended Aragon Elementary, which is one of the feeder elementaries here. Actually, we're going to be sharing some information here. But Leslie, can you help us put the information up here? About, I think they might be doing like a fundraiser. I think Starbucks, also our newest neighbor partner, might be doing also a fundraiser for them to try to help the family cope financially in terms of with their loss. So we're going to share some information. If you guys, again, we're not mandated, but you know, we're a community. So even though the student didn't come here, you know, we still are she's still part of our larger community. So we just want to communicate to you about, I guess there's going to be some ways for people that might want to donate and participate in that. Okay? So thank you. No, the other day there was actually a fire about 4 houses down.
Oh, so that's different.
So this was a fire, I think, 2 weeks ago. I think. Oh, yeah. So she was, I believe she was 10 years. I believe she was 10 years old.
Yeah, she was 10 years old.
She was 10 years old that passed away. Okay, so again, this is just information about, if you want more information about supporting the family. Again, there's also going to be, I just spoke to Starbucks this morning. They actually asked me for that information, and Leslie was able to provide that for me. And I went over that. I think Starbucks might also be organizing some kind of fundraiser for them, to support part of the larger community. Even though she wasn't a Nightingale student, we actually dealt with a death of one of our own students 2 years ago. So we know what that was like. So we definitely, our heart goes out to them, and we want to be able to support each other when tragedy happens. Okay, yes?
And October next one is earthquake preparedness month. Is it going to be the same thing here as well?
Yes, we're going to have a shakeout drill. Do we have the date for the drill, Ms. Drew?
I think it's the middle of October.
Yeah, so we're going to have a big drill where we're actually going to have kids that are going to be injured. We're going to ask parents to participate and come and pick up their students. So we're going to go through everything through a rundown in case, if it happens during the school day, we're prepared. Okay? So we have the raffle tickets. Very good. Mr. Gutierrez was trying to take his own family, but thank you.
We actually got more courtesy of the Boys and Girls Club. We are going to be raffling them off to our students. Just a reminder, students get incentive tickets. They're called Nighthawk bills. We revamped them last night. And so we're going to be issuing them. If we see students doing good deeds or just wearing their IDs, we give them a Nighthawk bill. That's what we call a Nighthawk bill. And if they collect 10, they could get a free dress pass. We're going to have a box just for the Knott's Berry Farm tickets in the main office. We did get 25 from the Boys and Girls Club. They did say that if they have extras, they were going to give me an additional 25 so I could go pick them up next week. But every time I call her, she's like in a meeting, but I'm on it. Also, we have partnerships with like the Dodgers. They give us tickets. Alley Galaxy, that's the new one that I became a contact yesterday.
UCLA game, we went to the UCLA game a couple of weeks ago.
So little by little, we're adding more and more partnerships. Get us incentives for the students and families. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thing with these tickets, these are not scary form the night. It's more for the morning session, which is from like I believe it's 9 to 5 o'clock. But this also includes Saturdays, and it's only for the rest of the year. So if you win them, you have the rest of the year to use them. Okay. So this is for Knott's Berry Farm.
Okay, so let's choose the number 1 through 28.
You have 28? Yeah, that's it. Nice.
My favorite
Go with 8.
8.
Maria Estrada. Felicidades.
Thank you.
Ahí le caigo el día que va. Yo le doy right.
Okay, so again, thank you very much again. If you have any questions, please see me. I hope that next time we have twice the amount of people and more than twice the amount of dads. So hopefully, again, if you bring your husband, you get a $5 scratcher. Okay, no more than 2 fathers though. No. So this is our website. So if you click here, it actually takes you to our channel. Oh, but you have to sign in because we have a filter. But if you click on that image on the YouTube, it'll take you to the live stream, and then by the end of the day, today's video will be up. Okay? Thank you very much.